In this video, we're going to show you how to install the power steering pump pulley on your Jeep Grand Cherokee located on the front side of your engine. On the passenger side of the engine, we're going to come on down to the ribbed pulley right here on the tensioner. Using our 15mm socket and our ratchet, we're going to go ahead and pull the ratchet towards the driver's side, releasing the tension on the tensioner. We can go ahead and remove our belt. Release the tension there and remove your ratchet and socket. Now, before we completely remove our belt, it is a good time for you to go ahead and document the routing of your belt. Once you have that documentation done, we can now go ahead and remove our belt. We want to go ahead and remove our air intake box here. We're going to use a flathead screwdriver. Come on over to the band clamp right here. We're going to loosen this. The next step to this here is come on over to our airbox lid. On each corner, there's going to be a retaining clip. Now, ours are pretty rusty. There are little retaining tabs that you can flip up and pull these clamps off. Be careful with these here because ours are so rusted they may snap off, so you want to be careful with yours as well. Once you have those clamps off, go ahead and lift up on the airbox lid. Wiggle this off of the top of the intake area. Go ahead and set that aside. Pull up the air filter, set that aside. Now, your airbox base may have a 10mm retaining bolt down between the airbox and the fender itself. Ours is broken, so we don't have anything to remove there. If you have that, go ahead and loosen and remove that piece of hardware. Grab the base, pull it up, pop it off of the rubber mounting base, and pull this up and off and set this aside as well. Now, on the power steering pump itself, there are 3 bolts securing this. There's 2 on the top here and then there's 1 on the bottom. And what you're going to do is we're going to use our socket and go through the hole in the water pump pulley. And you can see I'm putting my finger through the pulley and we're going to put our socket on these bolts. We're going to loosen and remove all 3. Let's go ahead and do that. So using our 13mm deep socket, we're going to go through the hole in the front of the pulley. I'm going to break this free. Same here. And then we'll get to that one at the bottom. You can see the power steering pump just dropped down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and remove that bolt. On the passenger side over here, we want to go ahead and use our pocket screwdriver and release this plastic clip. And that's going to give us a little bit more movement out of that. So we're going to use our pulley puller tool. The reason why we unbolted the pump unit is that it allows us a little bit more room to get our tool in there to work around the fan assembly. The other option is to remove both pressure line and return line and remove the entire pump from the vehicle. That is definitely an option if you'd like to do that. Now we're going to install our pulley. Very, very important that the pulley gets put on the correct way. This particular pulley is not universal. Number one, this pulley states front right on it. Well, that points towards the front. The other thing is this has the raised collar on the front side for that tool to grab onto to pull this off. The back side is flat. So if you put this on this way, well, you're gonna have to cut it off. There's no way that you're gonna get this off. So make sure you put it on the right way. Installing, we have an installation tool. This component here threads into the shaft on our power steering pump unit. And then we hold the outer bolt here, and then we turn this. As we do that, it's going to push the pulley onto the shaft. Now, if you don't have this tool here, you can simply use a large washer, a couple of washers, one to replace this unit here. You're gonna have a bolt and a nut, and you're gonna put that on there and spin that down. A thick washer or a couple thinner washers will work there. That's why I said use two if you want. But let's go ahead and get this put on. Now at this point here, we have our tool pressing our pulley onto the shaft. Take a little bit of time. Make sure you have some patience for this here. All right, now our pulley is bottomed out. I'm going to release our center bolt here. I'm going to feed one of our bolts in. I'm going to go through the pulley. I'm going to go ahead and lift our pump up into position. I'm going to switch over to a shallow socket. I'll start that bolt by hand. Once you get that bolt started, we'll go ahead and repeat that process for the other two. Let's go ahead and torque down our bolts to 18 foot-pounds. I'm just going to repeat this process for the other two. You can install your air box. Just manipulate this air horn into the front side beside the grill. You line this up onto the grommet underneath. Pop that in. Now if you have that 10mm bolt or nut on that side there, go ahead and install that. Install the air filter. Grab our airbox lid. We're going to put the intake side on first, on the top side of the engine, and then we can pop our lid into place. Once that's on, install your 4 clips. On the top side, we're going to use our flathead screwdriver to go ahead and tighten that down. I want to just make sure that's good and snug. Not super, super tight, but enough that is going to be clamping that onto that port there. Install the clip for the power steering line. Going to lower our belt down and get that put onto our crankshaft down below. It comes up around the power steering pump. It goes around the crank, over the idler, over the tensioner, up and over the AC. Down around the water pump. Now we have it around all of our pulleys. We just have to get this up. Our final one that we left it off of was our AC. We're just holding tension on it, but it is wrapped around everything else. Go on to our tensioner here. I'm gonna pull up on this, giving us some more belt slack. There we go. Make sure that is on our water pump completely. Check all of your other pulleys. It is around all of our other pulleys completely. Belt is in all of the ribs. Now that you have that installed, you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.